Yo, what's up, yo? Nightclub here. Hope y'all are doing well. Yeah, so I'm finally making the how to scenecore video. I'm mainly gonna be focusing on the melody since like scenecore music, like the drums really aren't that crazy. I'll still go over them, but I'm mainly gonna go over how I do the melodies. So yeah, let's get started. So let's see. So 178 BPM. So yeah, I usually start with the chords, like with the bass note or with the chords, and then I do the melody on top. I know a lot of people they do like the top line melody first, which is like the lead or whatever, and then they do the chords and then all the other stuff. But sometimes I do that. I don't like never do that, but I mostly start with the chords. So yeah, let's get started. So yeah, I started out with or actually let me play the full melody out first for y'all, so y'all can hear what that sounds like. Yeah, super crazy. And so yeah, the first four right here, or the first 16 bars, that's like the hook, and then the other 16 is the verse. I'll play the other part as I'm explaining the instruments that I used. So yeah, the first one was this piano, actually, from Xenology, I think is how you pronounce it. Yeah, Xenology. It's the Premier Grand. It's like a super basic grand piano, basically. So yeah, let's hear what that sounds like solo. Here are the notes. So yeah, nothing too crazy. I don't usually start with the like I usually don't leave it as a piano instrument. Like I'll start a lot of melodies with the piano, but then after that, like I just switch it out for something else. I just like the piano because it's super it's like a super general instrument, and like it's gonna sound good, like no matter, like certain sounds like aren't gonna sound good. So I like to usually like to start with the piano and then I trade it over to another sound. In this case though, I just kept the piano just because I liked it. Yeah, so what I did was I started out with these bass notes, so the A sharp, F sharp, C sharp, and then back up to G sharp. And then I basically do like the super basic music theory that like almost everybody knows, which is like how to make the chords, the bass notes plus 3 or 4 and then plus 7. But in case you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll explain it like quickly. So once I drew in the bass note, I just count up 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's your second note. And you could do that for basically any chord. Like the 7th note will always like sound good. In a minor chord though, so here this one is a minor chord because I started out at A sharp, right? I go up 3, 1, 2, 3. That's C sharp, but then I transpose it up 1 octave. So that's how I got the C sharp. This A sharp up here, I just copied it over. So really it's like the 3 notes, but 2 of the notes are doubled. So that's how to do the minor chord. So let me play that. That's the minor A sharp minor chord. But and then to do the major, it's the same thing. It's you just get the bass note and then you do plus 4 instead of the 3. So that's basically how I did all 4 of these chords. And then I switched some of the notes to make them a little bit unique. And then this top line melody. And that's basically like the whole main sound. And I basically, on the second half of the hook, I just copied that over into another instrument. So from Hybrid, actually. And it's literally the same exact thing. I just copied it over to this sound. And on that sound, I don't know if you guys have seen my the Hyperpop / scencore VST video that I made, but on that video I included what was the sound? Oh, 6. Yeah, duck. So I used duck on this, and that's basically just like gating the sound or whatever. And then I used S1 imager stereo. It's just a stereo imager. There's like free ones out there. This one's from Waves, and what that's basically doing, I don't usually put this on stuff, but it just sounded good on this specific pad or whatever, or I felt like it was too small. So it's just making the sound wider. Basically, it's turning it from mono, which is like right down the middle in the audio spectrum, and it's turning that into stereo. So it's like it's making it wider, making it sound bigger. So yeah, that's all that's doing. And then I turned up on the EQ a little bit of the highs. So yeah, that's literally just the main sound. And like I said earlier, I usually start with the piano and then I switch it into something else. But in this case, I just kept the piano. So yeah, next sound that I'll explain is just the bass. So this is how I do the scencore basses sometimes. I just like draw out the notes. So you could see here. So these are literally just the bass notes. So I went from the piano up here. I grab these notes, and that's my bass that I used here. So yeah, and then yeah, I just drew in the bass here. I like adding some notes here and there sometimes on some beats where that way it's not just like the plain bass pattern. So yeah, let's hear what that sounds like. Yeah, and on that I just put on Camel Crusher. Camel Crusher is just distortion basically. I've had that plug in on some of my videos too. So yeah, that was the bass, and then now we'll get into some of the extra like little lead sounds and synth sounds that I added. These are all from Serum. If you guys haven't downloaded my Serum kit, go check that out. Yeah, nothing crazy here. As you can hear, some of the sounds are like gliding. That's just because Serum's in legato mode. So yeah, some of the notes will glide. So yeah, that's the first one. Now it's next instance of Serum. So yeah, that doesn't even sound crazy. Like even listening to that back now, like it doesn't even sound like it's that good. But in context, like with all the other sounds, it sounds like really good. So that's like one thing I would say to like keep in mind. Like just because the sound doesn't sound good by itself doesn't mean it's not gonna sound good with all your other stuff, you know. So just keep that in mind. It's all about context. Next sound. Okay, so that's the like probably like the second main lead sound that you kind of hear in the beat or in the melody. And then this is the last Serum. So yeah, super simple. If you pay attention here, this is literally just the same notes. I just like what I did is I drew in this melody and then I just copied it and then pasted it one octave up. So it's literally the same notes there, and that just makes it sound thicker and like bigger sometimes. Like if you have a melody and you think you have it, like it sounds good to you, but it doesn't sound big enough, that's when you start doing these little things like stacking them, or adding stereo imaging, making it wider, or you know, adding reverb, whatever it is. Like, but that's just one of the things you could do. It's like stack your melodies up an octave or down an octave too. So yeah, let's see. I think we have this Serum also. Is this a different Serum? You solo it. So yeah, that's the kind of I think what I did here is I just used kind of a similar melody from the hook, and then I switched it up a little bit for the verse. So I do that a lot. Instead of just bringing in the same sounds, I change them a little bit. So there's like differentiation from the hook and the verse. So that's what I did there on the verse side, because the second half is the verse. So yeah, I think that was all the Serums. The last thing I added was this vocal chop. So let's hear that solo.
Oh, 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 wait for you. Oh, 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 wait for you.
So again, yeah, like solo doesn't sound it doesn't sound too crazy or anything like that, but in context with the other melodies and stuff, with the other sounds, it sounds a lot better. So let's listen to that one more time all together. And then let me just play some of the second half or some of the verse so you guys can hear that too. See how it like transitions back like into the hook like really well. That's what I recommend doing a lot. Like, see how I don't really have the same sounds playing throughout. Like, these first 8 bars are the same, and then I switch it up again. These 8 bars, I take off some sounds, and then I switch it up again. After that, I bring in one of the old sounds, and then take off some of the other ones, and then like I just keep doing that. And usually, like here's a tip I like to do right before the hook. That's where I like to take off a lot of sounds or like have something really different, because like it's kind of like a build up. Like in EDM right before the hook, that's where like you have, you know, the huge build up and stuff. This isn't this has elements of EDM obviously, but like I'm not trying to do that type of trap EDM. This is like more scencore hyperpop EDM. So yeah, I just like to take off a lot of the sounds towards the end, and then that way when the hook hits, it sounds a lot like bigger and more special. So that's like a huge tip I would have there for this type of music. Let's see. So yeah, I have some simple drums that I can drag in, so I can show you guys what that sounds like too. So when I'm making scencore or hyperpop EDM, I almost always do like all the melodies first. So I'll have you know, all the main synth, the leads, the bass. I do all that, the plucks, and then I start doing the drums. Usually, I usually don't like do like half and half. I like to finish one part of the beat and then add the drums. So yeah, I have this part, and then I just like add the kick. Just a simple 4 on the floor kick. And then I start adding some of my other sounds. So yeah, it's a crash on the 1, snares on the 2 and 4. The open hat, I almost always, it's basically like the same pattern as the bass. So it's like every other. And then I have a ride. I usually don't have rides, but recently I've kind of been using them. And the rides, usually I just put them on the same notes as the kick. So like 4 on the floor. And then I have some little notes in between that just to give it a little bit more groove, so it doesn't sound like too robotic. So yeah, let's just hear what that sounds like with the drums. And there you have it. That's how I make scencore slash hyperpop EDM. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys like learned something or found something interesting from this video. Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see next. I'm gonna be making like a bunch of these type of how-to videos. So if you guys want me to make one like more in depth of the drums, or more in depth of just the sounds, or something like more particular, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Take it easy.